So we were talking about the Papunya painters. They are the first contemporary group to bring these designs out of the desert, off the ground of ceremony, off their bodies, onto canvas and into the world of art. There's a wonderful collection of these smaller canvases. Originally they were produced on any old thing that was lying around the camp, some bits of tea chest, bits of old masonite. Eventually, of course, they became so popular that they were moved onto canvas in order to ship them out. That was the easiest way for the artists and their curators to get the art from the remote settlements in the central part of Australia to the places where the art was being admired and was being bought. But in the original, the paintings that you'll see here in the National Gallery of Australia are from a group of men who were the Pintupi men, who were very distressed at the loss of country and the loss of law, and decided that in rendering their designs as something that was comprehensible to European people as art, they had some chance of being heard with their political demands. Let me just move the slide on. In this painting, you can start to see a much more contemporary style. It's evolved around other parts of the Central Desert as this painting has taken hold, as this style of painting has taken hold. Here we have waving lines in the top part of the canvas, which tend to suggest a watercourse or river, and then below it some marks that are more to do with trekking. But you know, the dreamings that are given to you as part of your understanding of these paintings when you encounter them and perhaps when you buy them, are not really completely rendering the magic of these works of art, because the dreaming is much more than just a set of stories about the Aboriginal view of things. They're actually a philosophy and a kind of science. This painting, for example, no doubt records, among other things, where certain kinds of food and activity can be found at certain seasons of the year, and it probably does that in quite an encrypted way, because originally the competition between tribes meant that these signs and these designs were not actually to be seen by everybody. They were only to be seen by the initiated. So that when an Aboriginal person is entitled to paint something because it is part of their dreaming, then you know that they know the country, they know the story, and they know the philosophy that lies behind it. Let me just move the slide on. In this painting, which as you can see, I photographed it so that you can see the scale of it. It takes up the whole of one wall of the National Gallery of Australia. It's from a very famous painter, Emily Kame-Nangwarai, and she is collected by this gallery quite extensively. Her work is extremely beautiful, quite abstracted. She became a superstar in her lifetime. By the time she died, and she was very old, of course, when she died, she was pretty old when she started painting. She was an elder, and she was producing paintings of the most exquisite abstraction, and that was where that art, this Aboriginal art, started to really get a purchase in New York, London, Paris and Washington, where people, the cognoscenti, art appreciation meant that people could see an amazing, vivacious kind of abstraction happening in this painting. They tended to associate it with their own abstract expressionists, people like Pollock and Rothko and Rauschenberg. They're actually probably not quite right in that, but it's an interesting misunderstanding, and visually this painting does work like that, and it works to attract amazing attention for its deep design. So this is an Emily. Let me move on. And here is a very beautiful and different style by a Walbury painter, Dorothy Nappengardi. This incredibly fine dotting of kind of veil over the whole of the canvas. This is another technique which has become utilised in her contemporary style, both to describe a kind of dreaming, a rain dreaming or a seed dreaming, but also to suggest the kind of encryption, the veil that is drawn over these things except for the initiated. It's a beautiful technique, and by the way, it works very well also in etching. She's a known printmaker, and these designs have worked there very well.